Red Bulls.
They're an average team, always first round, get knocked out. That's the life cycle of the Red Bulls. They're average team.
Do we not think someone like Forsberg going to be able to come in and just impact them a little bit?
Dude, the life of a Red Bull fan. You look decent throughout the season. You get into the first round of the playoffs. You lose in the first round of the playoffs. That's the endless cycle, man. They always make the playoffs. They don't surprise us. Maybe they have one good game, but like, you know they're not winning MLS Cup. You know they're not winning the conference final. Like, you just like... They've had better players than Forsberg, and they couldn't do it. Cahill, Henry, Forsberg, doesn't matter, bro, who they bring in. It's just not gonna happen.
Especially considering like the history of this club, right? How many like crazy DP signings they've had, and like they haven't been able to do it. It blows your mind.
I like Forsberg. I like the signing. I like their new head coach. Like, I think positive stuff, but you just know how it's gonna pan out.
Are they the Dallas Cowboys of the Major League Soccer?
No, because you've had to have some success. The Red Bulls have not had any success.
Today, I am joined by the usual suspects. We have Xiaoyan from Rave Green TV, AJ from Atlanta United Fan TV, and John Rivera here to talk and rank the Eastern Conference of Major League Soccer heading into 2024. That's the video for today. We're going to offer a set of power rankings, probably a set of too early power rankings, if you will, heading into the season that's just over a month away now. A lot of talk with how these teams are going to fare, especially considering their respective transfer windows. Some teams are making moves, some teams aren't. We're going to talk about how those moves or lack thereof are making these teams competitive or not heading into the new season. Again, Eastern Conference only for today. We're going to save West for another video, and then we'll jump right in. Okay, so as you can see now on your screen, our tiers for today: elite in the East, good but still missing key pieces. I think that might be our biggest tier today. Average as fuck, still rebuilding, and then no chance in hell. There might be like one. I don't think we put too many teams in that bottom tier, but there is going to be someone who slots in. We'll talk about it. Let's start with how the bottom of the East sort of panned out last season. And not the very last team, but one of those teams down at the bottom last season was DC United. DC United finished with a whopping 40 points in the East last season. Haven't made, in my opinion, they've been making moves. Don't get me wrong. None of them have been crazy, flashy moves in this offseason, right? I think Gabriel Pirani from Santos is probably one of the bigger ones, although I don't know that much about him. I'm sure AJ can give us some intel on Tubbs and that acquisition from Atlanta. But outside of that, right, I think the big trade, if you will, was acquiring Jared Stroud and Lucas Bartlett from St. Louis. And they did send their defensive mid. Someone can kind of help me out here with this name. I can't remember his name that they sent over to St. Louis. Was it Durkin?
Yeah.
I think it might have been him, right? Yeah. A powerful 24 defensive mid who I think DC maybe should have tried to keep. I don't know. To me, he was one of their better players. But nonetheless, and a brand new head coach, right? Brand new head coach from the Red Bulls heading back over to DC. How do we feel about United, guys? I'm not, even with the signings they've made, they're
Still rebuilding.
Still probably
rebuilding.
still rebuilding. I'm also inclined to maybe potentially move them up to an average team based on how much they're reinforcing. But why not? Why are they not average?
Well, the very definition of them still rebuilding is that, well, they still have an open DP spot. So it's like, yeah, they haven't filled out the roster. And yeah, I suspect that, yeah, it's going to take them a couple transfer windows to probably really look a little bit more imposing. So I think, yeah, average is just a little generous for a side that is pretty much in turmoil. And yeah, to answer your question about Garrison Tubbs, I mean, it's a good pickup. I mean, we will take the GAM and we will run with it. I mean, Tubbs, yeah, it's like we can't deal with a project at this moment. Like that's it's a good young player that has got a lot of college experience and probably one of the, if not the best defender in college, but still, it's
long-term
I don't
project.
really see that exactly. I don't see that as a big impactful transfer or trade that will really put them over the top or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, guys, too, DC was one of those teams that was kind of volatile last season, right? At one point they were in playoff contention, then they weren't, and then it ended up netting out that they were the first team like eliminated in the East in a weird way because of how the matches sort of laid out towards the end of the season, but finished 12th. Weren't terribly far from those teams who were in the mix with Chicago, New York City FC, Montreal, kind of all in there. They just, again, their season wrapped earlier than other teams in the East, so they were eliminated first. I don't know. I could see them bouncing back a little bit, being slightly more in playoff contention, but I'm inclined to agree. Still rebuilding, and I think we can all agree too.
Yeah, I mean, if they miss the playoffs, that pretty much is still that doesn't mean they're average. Like, average is you made the playoffs, you're mediocre, you're probably not going to have a chance of winning MLS Cup. But yeah, they're not even quite there. So,
is average a wild card spot in the playoffs or round one team?
I think it's probably a large pocket of the teams, probably. So I would say all, but yeah, I mean, they haven't even made it, so it's just this is the spot.
Yeah. And the last question on DC United, I'm kind of curious for anybody who's watching the moves they made at head coach, right? Is Coach Troy better than Waza and Wayne Rooney at the head coaching position?
With how things are going with Rooney, maybe.
Yeah.
Did he already get fired from Birmingham?
Yeah, he just got fired not that long ago. So
got fired before DC United can name a new replacement for him. Well, that technically was the joke, right? So kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Rooney, it's the classic, it's kind of Thierry Henry as well, where basically the players are too good in terms of the former player, and basically, I'll rephrase this. They were too good as a player, and their expectations are way too high of their charges. And yeah, it's just difficult for them to, I think, probably empathize that these players that they're coaching are not good enough to do what they want.
To be fair, I think
of legends are bad at coaching.
I think both of them weren't horrible coaches in MLS. I kind of liked Henry at Montreal. I mean, they both weren't that bad.
I agree. I'm also biased, right? Like, as an Arsenal fan, I will look at Thierry Henry and say he could do no wrong, and that's kind of what AJ's talking about, right? But with that said, I just think that I know Red Bull fans were. I saw some on the timeline, right, that were kind of sad to see Troy go, and then he gets hired at DC United, and they're kind of applauding the pickup a little bit, if you will, right, giving him his flowers. I think you could be somewhat inspired by how Red Bulls kept it close to Cincinnati in playoffs, and maybe that's why, and even the run into that. But hopefully he can turn things around over there. I guess we'll find out over time. Let's move on, though. Toronto FC. This team is down bad. I'll be honest, man. I mean,
and it's weird because their roster's good. Like,
it's just a misfit of people that don't want to play together.
Yeah,
when you say good on paper, or like, how do you mean good?
Good on paper.
On paper, they're good.
They're top heavy.
Field, they're very. This doesn't seem well put together, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they just get the Canada's old coach too?
Yeah, they did. And I like John Herdman. Yeah,
he's pretty good. So I don't know. Maybe he'll help him kind of sort it out, but
they're like in between, still rebuilding and no chance in hell. Like, they're in between there, but I would give them the benefit of the doubt as still rebuilding. If you have a guy like Insigne, I don't know if Bernadeschi will come back. I still think you can't be no chance in hell with players that they have. That's the thing.
I mean, based on where they finished last year, you kind of can, right? Yeah, like to an extent, they were one of the apps. I mean, they were the worst team. They didn't win a single road game. They had all of these off the field issues, right? You hear about just tensions between players, between player and coaching staff. But
it's got to be different under Herdman now. Like, Herdman only came in like through the back half of last season.
Can't that only be different though? If they, I mean, do they not have to get rid of players? I guess you could say.
I think they're going to get rid of Bernadeschi. I think he's basically like confirmed to leave.
Yeah, they did just sign this Honduran midfielder as well. Davy Flores, whatever his name is, from the Hungarian league. So he's got some European experience and kind of does what John Herdman wants his midfield to do, to be workhorses more than anything else. So you can see him starting to add some personnel that fits what he wants this team to do. But I just think they had so many off the field issues or locker room issues potentially that I don't know if this team bounces back quickly.
I don't see it either. I mean, it's just it's a club that is in turmoil, even if they can fix up in one transfer window. But yeah, they've proven with top tier players, a top heavy type of roster, that they can't do it. And I mean, I think they have a lot to prove. So Toronto fans can't be really all that upset. I think that this is
that we're putting them here.
Yeah.
I'm not
Minus
gonna argue it.
33 goal differential. Let that
Yeah.
shit sink in.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy. It blows my mind. All right. Anybody disagree with no chance in hell? I think like it would be disrespectful to DC, I think, to put Toronto in the same category.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they are in the same boat. But again, I'm not going to argue for Toronto. It doesn't make a big
Yeah.
difference to me.
Right.
All right. We'll put them here. We can always move things around. Not a big deal.
Right.
All right. Someone that Xiaoyan thinks that we should be a little bit bullish on heading into 2024. Montreal. Xiaoyan, I honestly, I think Montreal, despite, how they kind of finished last season and were somewhat in the running for that last wild card spot in the East, in a better Eastern Conference in the West, that says something, right? But their road record was absolutely terrible.
They
Montreal
really just
to
put
me
it
just
together
hasn't
at
been
the
that
end.
impressive under Losada.
At the end, they really put it together. That's where they had a flurry of great results. They were just waxing teams, and I mean, I think they're still rebuilding. I don't think they're definitely better than Toronto. Like, there's no question about it.
Are they better than DC United heading into the season?
I would say so.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. I think they have a little bit more of a talented roster, a little bit more
And have a better game plan too, in my opinion. There's not too many like scattered, like with DC, you have like Ravel Morrison and Benteke, and like Benteke was good, but I'm just saying like too many like oddballs in their team. But with Montreal, you kind of see the vision a little bit more.
Yeah.
They're going kind of
the pieces are there. I'm just wondering if they can all put, just put it all together. Minus 16 goal differential doesn't spark the utmost confidence. Now, I don't want to be a stat merchant per se, and you're right, Xiaoyan. They did turn it around towards the end of the season because in the first half they had no shot in hell in making playoffs.
They didn't. They were like in the same boat as KC. Like they both were terrible.
Yeah. So to contend with the likes of Chicago and New York City FC and those guys for that last wild card spot, it says something. I'm just saying that. Was that a fluke, or will we see the continuation of that heading into this new season?
And yeah, that's where they belong. They're still figuring shit out. So
yeah, still rebuilding. All right, moving on. New York City FC. I feel like we're just kind of reiterate some of the same points to an extent. I mean, they are adding some pieces.
I think they're the lowest of these two teams.
Really?
Yeah, they were I didn't realize how bad they were last year. They were bad for their roster. They were kind of poo-poo.
I mean, don't you think that maybe that was, considering how recently they've seen some success, that maybe 2023 was a little bit of a fluke?
Mm-hmm. I feel like a little bit it is. I mean, maybe there is some shell shock of losing so many like veteran guys that were key pieces for the previous years where they were very successful. But yeah, I think it's a side that can, I think, come back, and I think there are more talented rosters than the other two, I think. But
yeah,
oh man, I agree. I think with the talented roster, I agree with, but okay, maybe I don't rate them above Montreal though. That's the thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. For me, 2023 for New York City was a little bit of a fluke, right? And I just because again they've seen success with a large chunks of this roster for very recently, right? Like a good part of recent history. They're adding what's his name, the Borussia Mönchengladbach midfielder, Wolf. What's his first name? Hans Wolf, something like that. He's got UCL experience, Austrian Bundesliga experience. He's been in the German Bundesliga now. I feel like that club, and more importantly, that ownership group, do things the right way for the most part, and they're not going to ignore what happened in 2023. I don't know, man. For me, it's hard to put him behind both DC United.
Then just put him above.
Montreal.
It's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah,
that's just my point of view anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. It's just, for me, it was just so surprising how bad they were last. I never realized it till the end of the season. I was like, holy shit, NYCFC were dog poo. Like I just didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah. Well, what's kind of crazy is that statistically speaking, they were better than both DC United and Montreal last season, as bad as they were, right? Statistically speaking, right? Better road record, better goal differential, tied on points with Montreal. So we might have just seen a down season from New York City and just determined, oh my God, they're having a bad year, without really digging in, right, to everything. So that's why for me, I'm like, yeah, they in the last game of the year, and John knows this, right? Being a Fire fan, last game of the year, they were in contention for that wild card spot.
I forgot they were.
Just the Fire were. So, I think we gotta show them a little more respect on this show. But anybody have a problem putting them here?
No, that's right there. Yeah, right there in front. Yep.
Wait, this way. This way.
You go. Nope, other way. Yeah, you got it.
Okay. All right.
No, no, no.
That way. Okay.
Go back. Yeah, go back.
There you go.
All right, boys. We'll move on. We'll keep New York City FC there. I was willing to put them on average, but again, I think that we'll see what happens in the earliest part of the season.
Yeah.
The Red Bulls, who did make playoffs.
Quick. It's just average. They're an average team. Always first round, get knocked out. That's the life cycle of the Red Bulls. They're average team.
Well, and again, I don't think he could do it on the field too much because he is, I think, 32 years old. We talked about it a little bit in the last video. Do we not think someone like their new head coach signing, their new DP signing, right, Forsberg, going to be able to come in and just impact them a little bit positively?
No. Dude, the life of a Red Bull fan. You look decent throughout the season. You get into the first round of the playoffs. You lose in the first round of the play. That's the endless cycle, man.
Yeah.
It's just life.
I mean, I don't disagree, but yeah, I mean, they look more promising. I mean, but like we were kind of mentioning, I think that this average AF is going to be quite long.
They encompass the average, in my opinion. If any team does, it's this team.
Yeah. So, like, what are the New York Red Bulls? The Dallas Cowboys of Major League
Soccer? Like what AJ said. Yeah. They always make the playoffs, but they don't surprise us. Maybe they have one good game, but like, you know, they're not winning MLS Cup. You know, they're not winning the conference final. Like, you just like.
It is, especially considering like the history of this club, right? How many crazy DP signings they've had, and like they haven't been able to do it. It blows your mind.
Doesn't matter, bro, who they bring in. It's just not gonna happen. Man
missed out the best one, Rafael Marquez.
Rafa? Oh yeah. Rafa was.
That's a callback.
The guy was a fucking enigma.
That's a callback to the episode that we did for worst DP sign.
Dude, I thought Manny Castillo was the best DP. What's going on here?
I'm not even gonna lie, bro. When it happened, I was actually jealous of the Red Bulls for signing Rafa Marquez. I thought like it was, dude, what an ambitious club. You know, again, right? We're talking about SC Dallas never making any, major signings. I'm like, dude, I'm so jealous. And then he had the time that he had, and I'm like,
we can't forget about Janino as well. They also got him as well.
Yeah, bro.
It just doesn't matter. They've had better. The thing is, that's the crazy part. Is they've had better players than Forsberg. So like, and they couldn't do it. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I like Forsberg. I like the signing. I like their new head coach. Like, I think positive stuff, but you just know how it's going to pan out. So I don't think there's anything more to discuss here.
No optimism at all.
Are they the Dallas Cowboys of the Major League Soccer?
I don't watch American football, so I won't.
Anybody here who does? Is that the perfect analogy for them?
I mean, it might be that.
No,
it might
because
be...
you've had to have some success.
Yeah, they've never.
Red Bulls have not had any success.
Oh my god! Yeah, you're
right.
Maybe
right. In the '90s, we'll go with like in the '90s, Buffalo Bills. Like, yeah, they
there you go.
Just a serial disappointment. Okay, damn. Yeah, John's right. You had to have had some success. Had to have won it at least once for that to be the.
They did win a supporter shield though. Was that like 20?
That doesn't count.
Under Miazga. No, I'm just saying they did win a supporter shield.
Okay, damn, that's tough. Well, I think I think you guys are right. Definitely average. But you're right. I think the one thing you guys said there, they've had better players in this signing. Had better players, still haven't done anything. We'll leave them there. All right, Red Bulls fans, it's tough. More mediocrity on the way, it looks like. All right, Charlotte FC. Dean Smith.
I know this is going to be controversy, but I would put them in still rebuild. Like, I don't rate Charlotte at all. I think they're shit. Yeah, and they made the playoffs, but they embarrassed themselves. Like, it just showed they didn't deserve to be there. Like,
so I agree. I think it's this. It's like Dean Smith, I think, puts them a little bit more like optimistic, I think, for their season, but the roster is still highly flawed. And yeah, I don't see this window really doing much. They probably need, 2-3 windows probably to. But is Dean Smith going to stick around for that long?
That's what I'm saying.
How like Dean Smith coming to Charlotte's cool and all, but come on, guys, it's Dean Smith. Like, let's pretend he joined your Premier League club that you support.
You wouldn't be excited.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's just because he's a kind of cool English manager coming here. Like, we're all like, oh shit. But I'm like, dude, we all know he's mid as fuck. Like, if let's say he's
not wrong.
No, man. No, so I fully disagree there.
I don't know if I agree.
I don't think
he's an elite manager. He is an elite manager, but the problem is, does he have the patience for this project? Like, why would he have the patience for this project? What are they paying him? underneath the table
You
in order for him
think
to
okay,
want
hold on.
to stay there.
Pause for a second. You think if he was an elite manager, he'd get a job in the Prem?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, and that's what I mean is like, no, he still could. Are we kidding? Like the clubs that are hiring these retreads in the Prem, like you don't think Dean Smith could get one of those? Like he is being paid some buku money that is not being.
I've never heard.
I agree.
That
I agree with AJ. I think the money talks, and I think he's taking advantage of an opportunity.
How does Charlotte just have money for a coach but nowhere else on the field? Like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like
I mean, it's not. They're paying. They're paying the players well. They're like bringing in DPs. They're just not recruiting well.
Tepper doesn't know where he wants to spend his money because he can't even do it with the Panthers either. Now, that's the thing. Like Tepper's spending this money on a coach, but at the end of the day, like, is that really going to impact how much of a better, like the better play on the pitch? I don't really think so.
I think this experiment with Dean Smith is going to be a dumpster fire. I'm calling it now. I don't want.
I would not
define dumpster fire, but like
dumpster fire is like they're going to be like how Toronto was when they first got Bernadeschi and Signé, and like they're not going to be good, bro.
I think we can.
I don't want to hear it.
We can put them on top of still rebuilding, probably. Like with Dean Smith, they're probably the most promising of those three.
I don't rate him better than. Oh, this is so horseshit.
I think we're okay. Look, I'll say this about Dean Smith. I'll think about Dean Smith. We can't forget, right? People say not a great manager. He took an Aston Villa side that was in the championship, not doing anything, and got them through with young players through from the championship playoff and into contention in the Premier League. Not just doing what Luton Town and Sheffield United and Burnley.
Let me rebuttal this. How many great managers have we seen that have done great things in Europe come to MLS and be successful?
Fine. That's not great. First off, I want you to hear the whole point I'm making because I'm only talking about his European record at the moment. Okay, just give me a second. He's he's done that. He has that experience. So one, to combat the point you made earlier of him being an overrated manager, that's a shit take. It's absolutely shit take. He's 100% a good manager. I think he's getting paid an arm and a leg to be in MLS and to try and build a side that's similar to those successful teams that he's managed overseas, right? Young, hungry. Maybe you have one or two flashes in the pan in terms of like youth stars that start to step up and rise above everybody else, like Jack Grealish did back at Villa. I'm not saying that that's what he's going to get at Charlotte, but that's what they're hoping for with him, right? Now, is he going to be able to do it with what Xiaoyan just said? I don't know. There's so many instances and examples of managers coming from overseas and not performing in Major League Soccer. It's a completely different league. I agree. But he hasn't done anything yet, so we can't really call him overrated or a shit manager. Right?
I've already seen this cycle. I've already seen how this goes. I don't.
With the roster they have, I think they'll miss playoffs. But that's just that they don't do anything. And right now, or in the summer, if nothing gets brought in, I feel like they're gonna miss playoffs. Yeah, I feel like there's other ambitious rosters out there that are gonna make moves. If Charlotte doesn't, and they're just gonna unfortunately miss out because of that.
Dude,
I also think Charlotte overperformed a little bit heading into that run in for a wild card spot. Like I think that they pushed their team.
That irked me. Them playing in the playoffs. It was just such a pointless game. It was just so embarrassing to me because I was like,
right?
If Montreal were in their shoes, NYCFC were in their shoes, like the game would have been so much better. They played like they played the Colorado Rapids in that match. Like it was like at that point, just throw Colorado in that wild card match.
They took a spot that we deserve to be in. That's all I'm going to say.
Even Chicago, I think, would have put up a way better. To be fair,
you guys had the opportunity to get in. You just didn't take
it. Yeah, just shut the bed.
You did to yourself.
And that's what it is. It was kind of embarrassing to actually see that, where it's like it's like the definition of a cash grab in MLS. To have that type of game for your an early match
format's wank.
Yeah. They made Red Bulls look like they were like a rampant.
They were going to win MLS Cup, baby.
they were believing it. They were demanding Cincinnati after that.
Even the players, like I'm watching press conferences for the Sounders, and they were even admitting like the 3-game series, they were like, it just dragged on too much. And even as a fan looking back on it, I agree. Like, if the teams didn't sweep going into game 3, I know for Jose it might be a little different because like both our teams were still in contention going into game 3, but it was kind of like it did feel like it dragged on. I think 2-leg series would have been so much better. Like, I don't know.
I like those, but my bias is going to show because it's just like Columbus versus LA United. That was I mean, there was hope at least. There was
that's just the banger, bro. You guys could be. I mean, AJ was mad at how it ended, but I thought that series went back and forth.
No, that series was good.
It was good.
Yeah, it was just we never had a chance at in Columbus. That's the issue. Is they were just too good.
Hey, neither did any other team, so don't feel bad, bro.
Yeah, don't. I mean, Cincinnati did, I guess, to an extent, but like, again, it's an in-state rivalry, so that it kind of doesn't even like
count.
You could say they had a chance, but when you're in the same state and your fans can travel like that, it's different.
Exactly.
I agree. Like nobody else really had a shot in Columbus, so I think Atlanta could still, hang their heads high, if you will, or hold their heads high. But with that said, I mean, Charlotte, I agree with what AJ said. It's like they're still rebuilding. They're spending money. This may or may not be the spend, right? They maybe should have gone with like a young, hungry manager who has something to prove, not one that's going to be under a lot of pressure because of his time and tenure in the Premier League. But I guess we'll find out. We'll find out how Charlotte's going to make this all work. I kind of agree with John. I don't know if they make playoffs. We'll see. John, I'll let you pick where this next team goes, man. It's your club, the Fire. I mean, they're making moves. They're making some signings, right? I don't know if you're completely happy with the leadership direction moving into 2024.
No,
but
I think the re-signing of Hines was kind of boneheaded in my opinion. I feel like we could have gone in a different direction, but they brought in defenders. I feel like they're trying to fix the problem that we have, which is we'll take leads in games and then we'll give it up in the second half. So that's been our biggest issue the past like couple of years. So I think addressing that defense has been good. But I don't know, man. For what our roster is getting paid, we should be doing way better than what we are. So for that reason, I don't want to put us in still rebuilding. But I feel like, I don't know.
Maybe lowest tier on still rebuilding. You got to think, dude. These guys got that Chicago style deep dish pizza. It's got to add.
Nah, I feel like we're average.
I don't know where we went with that. That was like
I feel like we're average though. Honestly,
that's what I would say.
I think
probably the back
bottom of average. Yep.
Yeah, back end of average. But I'll say this because I feel like even the beginning start of the season that we had last season was really bad, which is why we got rid of our manager.
Mm-hmm.
Frank took over as an interim role. We went on that run where we won 7 games in a row. Leagues Cup hit. We got knocked out, and after that, shit.
All my homies hate Leagues Cup.
So I think if we didn't have Leagues Cup, I think we would have made playoffs for sure. But I feel like I don't know. You can't really use it as an excuse because everyone else kind of had the same thing.
It's a valid excuse. All my homies hate Leagues Cup.
It might be a hot take. I actually like Leagues Cup. I hate the timing of it. I think the
timing of
the season's terrible.
Yes,
I think having it like after the season during the lull when we're just kind of waiting for the transfer window to get here is perfect timing for Liga MX as well. I don't know. I like the idea of Leagues Cup. It's just it shouldn't be.
It's just not utilized well, in my opinion.
Yeah, or spread the matches out like they do Champions League, right? Or any other European competition, right? You have a group stage match every couple weeks or a few weeks or something. But to do this the way they're doing it is terrible.
If it was spread out, it would be a lot better for everyone, both leagues in general. Just because you're not. Both of them are in season when it's being played, so it's very weird. They both awkwardly stop to play, but that's a conversation for another day. But I feel like we're doing better. I mean, we're bringing people in. I don't know what this roster is going to look like until we see it on the field, but we'll see. I liked how we played towards the back end. I mean, especially against Inter, we demolished them. Was it 4-0? But I need to see more performances like that. We're not performing like that all the time, but when we do, and that just tells me that we're able to do it. It just, I don't know if it's a mentality thing. I don't know if it's a coaching thing. I genuinely don't know what it is. But if you're able to play that well against a Miami team that, they had Busquets, they had Jordi Alba. Like, it's not like they were bad. They were just missing Messi. But other than that, still a good roster. But
bro, and the other point I'll make too, why you can't put them in Chicago in rebuilding mode is just because they have. Before Messi got here, they had the highest paid DP in the league. Like you can't really say you're in rebuilding mode.
I think we still have the highest payroll in the league.
Yeah,
and so you have it.
You can't really do that. I think you just demand more from this roster, right? I think I need to see Shaqiri do what he's being paid to do, what he was touted to do when they brought him to Major League Soccer. I think you guys haven't gotten your money's worth there, and you've added some pieces around him.
He's showing flashes, but it's not enough. I don't know. Not consistent.
Well, the guy
enough.
being paid that much, bro, playoffs needs to be the bare minimum.
Although I will say, this roster that we have coming into this season, I feel like just in terms of development and stuff like that, is farther along than when he first originally got here. Because the roster that we had when he first got here was nowhere near good enough. I feel like a lot of our young players, like Guti, has come through now, is doing a lot better. Haile Selassie on loan. He got signed permanently, so he's here. But having these pieces around now, we were also missing Chris Mueller because he tore his ACL last season. So Chris Mueller's back into the fold this year. So I feel like having these extra pieces is going to help us kind of push through for that. And I mean, I'm optimistic that we make playoffs, but I'm not sure yet. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
deep dish pizzas.
Yeah, dude, yes, and I'll tell you what, man, John, I'll be honest, bro. As you guys get close to the run-in this coming season, I think I'm gonna head out there for a few matches. I really want to.
Should.
I think Chicago's got. I don't know. I want to be optimistic for the Fire. You know what I mean? Like they have a team and a roster that should be performing better than they are. The culture of soccer in Chicago is immaculate. I want to get out there and see as they're starting to get closer to playoffs, they can make this thing happen, man. But Shaqiri, you need to step the hell up, bro. If you ever get a chance to watch any clip like this, step the fuck up like you're supposed to for this team. But right now, average playoff should be the goal 100% in 2024, bare minimum. All right, Nashville. We've talked about them a little bit recently. Okay, we know how Cheyenne feels about Nashville.
Average.
The most mid team in Major League Soccer, according to Rave Green TV. They've added some attacking options for Mukhtar. Give him a little bit of help, right?
No, mid.
Okay, but where mid?
Top of mid. Just throw them top of mid. They're the tier of the top of the mid.
They're good, but missing key pieces in my opinion.
No, they're not, bro.
Why not?
They've never even, dude. No, come on, guys.
Tell me why, man. Tell me why.
They've never been to a conference final. They've never done shit. Like, come on, man.
Don't bring up
League
still a good
Cup.
team. They're a playoff team that I think
they're average. Then they make playoffs. That's it. They don't do anything. They don't scare anybody. They don't scare me.
I don't know, bro. I think, look, man, Nashville made it to the final of the Leagues Cup. You're not a Leagues Cup guy. I get it.
No, but
I
that
think
doesn't count.
At the end of the day, they've been solely reliant on one person attacking.
Yeah, and that's why they're mid.
And for the first time, though, in an offseason, they're getting.
It's not going to change.
I'll say this. I think regular season, they're not a team to take lightly.
Yeah.
Playoffs is a completely different thing.
I agree with
playoffs. I think in playoffs they don't play as well as they probably should, which is why they haven't.
And the thing is, their tactics are built for the playoffs. That's the weird part.
It's an odd thing, because they are that smash and grab team that defends to the death. And I would agree. They're kind of in that in between that good and average.
But they know how to grind out those points, and that's what's important to get into playoffs. That's what they do. Yeah. They just don't perform in playoffs, but they do. They grind out to get the points that they need to make sure that they're in.
They're the best defense in Major League Soccer. So hands down, right there in the regular season, best defense. They made it to the conference semis, if I'm correct, in the East, right? Losing to Orlando. Or was it was it round one?
It was round one.
It was round one? Yeah, that's right.
Orlando.
The best of three. That's what it was. In the best of three. 2-0 to
they
Orlando.
Got swept. They got swept by Orlando.
Swept.
Okay, my bad.
But it's 2-0. It's not like it's a 1-0 in two matches. And again, Orlando was the number 2 seed last year. Had they played someone else, could they not have gotten a better result? Would this not be a better team? And another point I think people would consider with Nashville is that I think the time is running out for them to do something with Mukhtar. I think Mukhtar's 28 years old. He's getting some calls from Europe. There could be an opportunity for him to move on and make the most of these twilight years of his peak, right, of his prime.
That's when they're going to be in shambles, and I'm so excited.
Well, so what is it? I mean, do you are Nashville just a
I used to
rival
love
for you?
Nashville. Okay, I thought they were a cool team. All right, I thought they were cool, but
Who
then they
pissed you
just
off?
became too reliant on Mukhtar, and it's just like, dude, come on, man. Like, you can't have anyone else step up. Like, I don't know. And also, I think Walker Zimmerman's so overrated, bro. Just because he's American, everyone's like, he's best defender in the league. Oh, he's got cool hair, and like, dude, come on, man. We all know it's so biased. Like, I just don't rate Nashville anymore. Like, the reliance on Mukhtar and how dead they played way now for like 4 years straight. I'm just done with it, bro. I'm just done with it.
I think you're just done with the disappointment of them not performing. I think that's what.
Yeah, dude. Like,
but again, in playoffs, right? But if we're talking about just
even
this
like,
team being good in the East, they're a good team. They're
just
good
okay.
team.
They're fine.
And they added 2 forward options to help Mukhtar. So it's not just him and Sam Surridge, the Leagues Cup merchant himself. They added Boyd and Gaines. And Boyd, even in his inaugural season for MLS, a good attacking threat.
Boyd's just an LAFC killer. I like Boyd because he's an LAFC killer, but they won't be playing LAFC, so he's not going to be useful here.
He's not going to be useful. Those 13 goals aren't going to be useful for Nashville.
He'll be okay.
Oh, bro, you got a vendetta against.
Yes, I do. I do. I'll admit it. I'll admit it.
Ferreira.
I'll admit it. I have a vendetta. I'm tired
of bringing this guy up. He's not even in the East, man.
Yeah, come on.
He's always relevant, John. He's always relevant.
He's never. He'll stay irrelevant. Keep scoring the fucking merchant goals against fucking island teams,
Mr.
bro.
Caribbean Island himself.
Yeah, for real.
I love these vibes. All right, well. Nashville, I mean, for me, obviously better than these 2 teams. I think they're still a good team. I think we have to put them here. They're missing key pieces, but they're a good team.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to look like, it's like in these tiers, I don't know how we fit every single team where it makes sense that, because like I was saying earlier, average should be where there's a lot of teams because most teams are average.
Yeah.
Right. That would be the thing. But
average. Okay, so in a regular season standings, then what's the average baseline? Remove postseason because anything can happen in playoffs. We've seen it in the regular season. Where does an average team place?
So it's probably anywhere from 5th to the last playoff spot, and
5th to 9th. Okay.
Yeah, and then as well, you're a team that doesn't win a ton of games on the road. You win most of your games at home, and. Yeah, I mean, in terms of
sounds like
goals,
Nashville.
I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna say this. Most of the teams that are left down there are better than Nashville.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's that too.
Most of the teams that are left are better than Nashville.
I would say
with that said, all of those teams are pretty damn good.
I'm saying. So Nashville, go back,
so Nashville
put them back,
go back
down. Put them down. Down.
All right, fair enough. I'll put it this, but with that said, when I think of good but still missing key pieces, they're decently far from elite. I would say half of the teams down here are elite level teams in the Eastern Conference, right? And I say elites, they're going to contend for those top 4, top 5 spots. Like those are elite level teams year in and year out. That's just what they do. You're going to be scared of them when they come to town. Period. Yeah. Right? And I still think Nashville are in between where we have them now and what I just mentioned, those elite level teams. They're good, but they're missing like 1 or 2 really key pieces, a couple of Mukhtars, if you will, to kind of get them over the top. Yep. And
they would love a couple of Mukhtars, now wouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams would, but that's what I'm saying. The game is right, 1 to 2 key pieces. And again, I don't know if you could ever call the best defensive team in any league, any sport, an average team. I've never heard anybody give that take ever.
I mean, that's a tough one because they are that, I guess, disparate in their attack, right? Where they're, like Shahya is saying, so reliant. And that's the thing, is like, that's why they shit the bed in the playoffs. That's why they don't really do much, is because, they don't, they have one tactic, and it's not efficient. It's not good enough to win them things. So
yeah. All right, Shia, we're gonna come back to this episode when Boyd is scoring goals, when it's not just Mukhtar, and it's gonna be amazing, bro. The receipts are gonna be fantastic.
When Dean Smith gets sacked, and when when Nashville don't do shit, I can't wait till we come back here.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Dean Smith for manager of the year, by the way. All right, boys.
Oh my god! Oh no! Oh jeez!
Yo, just stop.
What? Hey! Listen, when another manager in Major League Soccer does what Dean Smith did with a team like Villa, you let me know.
Bro, stop. Are you a Villa fan? You an Arsenal fan?
No, bro. I recognize game. If you want to discredit what he did his time in Europe, by all means, have that take. But I know what's funny. Again, AJ will too. We're gonna give him his flowers.
Optimistic about Dean Smith getting coach of the year than his own head coach. He should be rooting for his coach to get coach of the year, but he's not. Look at that. Fake
That's
fan
just
right
that,
there.
it's that
Fake
Jesus
fan right
Ferreira
there.
mindset right there. That
Yeah.
Caribbean island stuff.
First off, I'll be serious. I was trolling by saying that just because you started off with a Charlotte FC take on a Nashville SC opinion, which is kind of weird. So I just threw that out there, right? But again, if you want to bring up like Coach Nico and have a real debate about it on the Western Conference video, I'm totally down. He's better than your coach. All I'm going to say. All right.
Okay,
New England Revolution. A coach that I am bullish on that I think could be a coach of the year candidate, Caleb Porter. I think he's going to pick up where Bruce Arena left off prior to the scandal and uplift this team. They have added a couple pieces. They've lost some that are aging, right? But New England is someone that I expect to bounce back a little bit from how they started.
I kind of have a little hot take on this. I think they are going to be average, even though they have a roster that's built to win now, and they have a coach that's built to win now. I think the issue is, can they put it all together after completely like just breaking down last year? It's just,
but they broke down all the way to 5th place. AJ, they didn't like fall off and not make playoffs. Like they were still top 5 in the league. And they crashed out to a good team in the Union.
Is that not what I was mentioning earlier in terms of average? I mean, that's what it is.
No, in terms of average, there's another club down there that we'll get to that is more average than them. I feel like they're good. They're missing a couple pieces.
I think they're up next. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're up next. Exactly.
I would think the Revs are good though. No, I mean we just
I think they're good too.
I think they're good. I think they're good. They're missing pieces. I think
no, they're good, but missing pieces.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They're not elite, but they're a good team, and they've added some good pieces.
I think as well. Maybe we need to define elite for a second, because it's that. It's like elite means like one or
Columbus
two
Crew
in the running for supporter shield. In the running for supporter shield. 100%.
Exactly. 1 or 2 teams are in the running. Not 4, not 3. Like,
I think when it's all said and done, there's only gonna be 2.
I was gonna put 3, but I'm cool with 2.
I could see the case for 3. I could see the case.
I could see the case with 3, but one of them just lost a big piece, so I feel like there's 2. That's why that tier is there. So that's what I'm saying. Exactly. It's 2. But
so I think this is too high for the Revs. Like they are.
We could circle back to Revs. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Like if anything, they're at the bottom of this. Good, but I think they're average. Like they have a lot of things to prove.
Yeah,
it's not a little like 1 or 2 pieces. It's like, yeah, they need to prove that the existing roster can excise the ghosts of last year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much the ghosts of last, because it's a unique downfall that they had, right? Like it's like when is that ever going to happen again? Are they really going to let that stick with them for this season? I think Porter is going to come in and maybe like reset the mentality a little bit. And you're right, they made that move to win. Now they brought Limo from Austin FC to win, to offer finally some depth on the right side with DeJuan Jones on the left. I think Carl's heel, yes, he's aging a little bit. I still think he's a hell of a player, still a cracking player in my opinion. I just feel like this team has to do something in the short term, otherwise they fail. But for that reason, they're a good team, not elite, but a good team that, who knows, but could make maybe 1 or 2 more signings to kick off the 2024 season. I don't know. I think Revs top 4 in my opinion.
Top 4. I don't know.
Maybe
I don't
5.
know.
I'm telling you guys, let's just circle back on it.
We'll circle back on it.
We'll leave them here. We'll leave them here for now. We'll see how the rest of these teams pan out. The Union, and we've all. I mean,
average
on the Union.
Top of average.
Let's
go.
Top of average.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need to discuss. I don't think we need to discuss why we already discussed previously as to why. There's just a lot of things that
who's holding them back though? Who's holding them back? Is it the front office? Is it?
I think it is their coach. I think Philly fans can admit it's because of Jim Curtin.
Oh, really? You think so?
There's a lot. If you guys saw the comments from the last video, right? There are a lot of fans who think that Curtin is the real deal, and then it's just the players, or for whatever reason, right? They don't have any like killers maybe on the team to get them over that line, but they think Curtin's doing the right job. But dude, it's been a decade. It's been a decade since that guy's signed on as a head coach, and we have nothing to show for it, like nothing.
Exactly. Well, there's your point right there. You just said it. He's been in the job for 10 years.
Swish
He's been in the
and
job for
flick
10 years.
and dab.
And that's the problem. You got to switch it up a little bit, right? There's an issue here. We already know what the issue is.
It's kind of like the same thing here to add a little bit. Like Sounders had kind of that same issue, like under Siggy. Like we just couldn't get over that hump in the playoffs. Then for some reason you sack like Siggy and you bring in Bryant, and now we don't win anything else other than like making decent runs in playoffs. Now that's what I'm saying. Like it could be something similar to that.
Well, it's also your core has aged out, and it's a matter of you guys haven't replenished that roster well enough to be able to really make waves again. So until you guys, and then we took your most promising guy in the front office. So it's sorry, but yeah.
Well, hold on. But with the Union though, I mean, like with them making it to conference semis, right? Which can you not argue that? And it is a step backwards from the 2022 season. Do not get me wrong. I feel like they're maybe moving backwards, and we could see even more regression. I don't really know, right? 2024, it's up in the air. But are they not a few key pieces away from going back to MLS Cup? And whether they bottle the final or not, I don't know, right? But can they not challenge the crew if Xiaoyan just dipped? He said, I'm done with this conversation.
Yeah, he had to meditate after I
we'll get him back in here in a second. But I do not feel like they're not like, I don't know, is Curtin not one or two really key pieces away? They haven't made any great moves, but that's not their style. They kind of
I don't think they're one or two pieces away. I think that core is
exactly.
You weren't wrong with what you said. That is an aging core. Now they were about to lose Kai Wagner, one of the best left backs in the league. In my
they got him back.
They got him back, but that's not going to be. You're not really impacting anything there. There's nothing. There's not.
It's the same. And if you're staying the same, you're moving backwards. So the problem is that they don't.
Also, I feel like they're being found out by a lot of the other clubs in the East. You know what I mean? Like
the diamond isn't as dangerous as it used to be.
Yeah.
Where you can't play around it. You just get stifled. It's a level where the Union, it's not as scary, and it's what it is. I mean, it's like if you look at let's average out the years that Curtin has been in at the helm, and he's been average more than not and hasn't won shit.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of crazy. Outside of 2022, they're the kings of finishing, towards the top in the regular season, and then finding a way to botch it in playoffs. Like the kings. Talked about how bad Nashville is, and at that, Union's at another level. Like they've been doing it for a decade now, and it's just. You're wondering, and that's what makes his whole like again. I don't want to touch on the press conference too much here, right? And he might have been protecting his players, but that's why it makes it so mind-boggling to me that he would say that. I don't know how many teams would want, or fan bases would want to be in a position where you're being teased year in and year out. You think you have a great team, you're going to make a deep run to playoffs, and then you just crash out. I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
I think to touch on your other analogy, I think they're looking more like the Cowboys, honestly. I mean, they haven't won anything, but they're
2000s Cowboys, maybe.
Yeah, they're promising, always promising, but not good enough to actually do something.
Yeah.
Cheyenne, were you meditating, or did what happened?
My screen froze for some reason.
Looked like you were meditating because I talked about the Sounders that much.
Yeah, I thought he said, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Yeah,
I'm done. I'm tired of this slander. I deserve respect.
It's hilarious. All good. And look, Union fans, you guys aren't going to be happy with us calling your team average because they do make playoffs every year. But until they do something with it, and not move backwards season over season, I think, this is probably where they belong. We'll keep them here. All right, AJ, talk to me, bro. Talk to me. Atlanta United. You guys haven't lost Almada yet. We'll put that out there. Haven't lost Almada yet. You probably won't lose until summer, to be honest. You get them. I think you guys keep them for the first half of the season.
Yeah.
With that said, will that be enough to? And I don't know if there's been rumors of plans to backfill at that position. I haven't kept up a ton with the signing. So walk us through, man. Where Atlanta United going to kind of stack up amongst the rest of the East this season?
Yeah, I mean, they're in terms of the transfers. They've been quite good. I mean, I think they're replenishing where we need to replenish. Midfield has been addressed. That was the major problem, is that everybody could just play through us like Swiss cheese. It was very annoying because essentially, yeah, we're forward heavy, but essentially, yeah, we can play with possession, but we just don't really have anybody in the midfield that can stop anybody. And that's why we were one of the worst teams defensively. Now, bringing in Stian Gregerson, I think, is a really, really good replacement for Miles Robinson, one of the better defenders in League Duh. But as much as I want to put this club in good but still missing key pieces,
Nah, fuck off. It is.
We were average. We were average last season. All right. And
you
this
guys
is why the
toe-to-toe
Revs
against
belong
Columbus.
in average, because we have a better roster than the Revs, I think.
No, dude, Atlanta's not average, bro. Stop.
And the low-key good signing for Atlanta was Dax, in my opinion.
No, I like the Polish guy they signed.
Yes. Yeah. Bartosz. Yeah, definitely a good 6 that I think will solve a lot of problems that we had last season, but we have not proven anything. Like we've been mid for 4 years, more years than we were.
No, you guys were shit for 2 years. Let's be honest. You weren't even mid then.
You
guys were shit.
Sure, exactly.
I think you guys are good now.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, okay, there's so many questions still. We have to make sure these signings pan out. I don't think we're at a level of where we can say we're good yet. We still have to prove we can play on the road and win games. We have not.
You did it. You did it.
I think that's where these tiers kind of get defined, though, is that we know how good the Revs can be because they've proven it with the roster they have. Mm-hmm. Atlanta hasn't proven it yet. Can they get to that level? Possibly.
I think they kind of proved it last year. I think their game against their game against Columbus was actually very. They're the only team that was able to wax Columbus. Like, let's not take that game in Atlanta lightly. That game was impressive.
I feel like Orlando actually had a good chance to be honest.
No, stop it, John.
And not even then. Atlanta United heading into the playoffs had that run of like playoff teams they had to play against and did pretty well against. Seattle was on that run. Dallas was on that run. And 2 good defensive teams. Atlanta United, I think looked pretty damn well. And you highlighted all. You put the cherry on top with the 4 goals against that crazy good Columbus team in playoffs. And if you're plugging some of those holes directly where you already know you were very deficient, I don't know, man. I think
you guys will be better. I think you guys will be better without Miles. No offense, and without Guzan.
Damn, that's a hot take right there. Better without Miles?
Yeah, fuck Miles.
I think so. Yeah, I think to be fair, I think you're right because Robinson kind of down-tooled last year.
Yep. Now we're cooking.
Yeah, and there is. Like, as much as I love him, like, he was just not as good at and it was like, a year removed from the, the Achilles. And so it's like one of these things where it was weird. It was just, and plus he low-key caught.
He had one eye out the door. You could just tell.
Yeah. And he had low-key cost us in the Columbus game. And so, it is something that I think it's a club that has too many questions and they haven't proven it yet. I think only a few teams can be in this good tier.
Okay, then would you put them below Philly or above Philly?
I would put them above Philly because I think we have more promise than Philly for sure this year. Okay. But then Revs, I think it's like, we're next to each other, but I think we have a more promising roster than the Revs because they're aging. It's not completely far gone, but I think there's a possibility that they absolutely can make some moves in the East. I think
you guys. I think it looks good as is.
I think it looks good as is too, only because I wouldn't put Atlanta or New England in the same category as the Fire, as the Red Bulls, or even Nashville. Like I think that like Union, I guess their fans will maybe have something to say, but I think these 2 teams are. So
you're saying that we don't have potential to beat those 2 teams?
No, you don't, John.
Listen, we do. We do.
Well, beat us. Finish higher? No.
Yeah, finish higher? No.
That's why I said
one-off game, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone can beat anyone on a one-off game. Colorado.
Anybody can beat anybody. This is why. Okay, it's the whole like. Okay, can you beat them away? Like that's really the question. And
beat Seattle away. I still can't get over that.
AJ, Columbus went into your house and you guys completely destroyed them.
Dude,
like,
you guys waxed them.
Oh,
Dude,
we looked completely bereft of any talent in Columbus.
To be fair, the first game you were missing Almada, though. That's the thing. That
Yeah,
first game,
that's true. But then the second game when we had Almada, we still didn't do anything.
What do you mean second game? Second game, Almada scored.
We didn't do anything. Did we beat them? No.
Oh, you're talking about in Columbus. I was talking
In
about, the second
Right,
game.
yeah, the second game in Columbus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the third game.
Okay,
And
let's,
so-
let's-
I mean, I
let's
think
go-
you guys
let's
were
come back
just-
to it when it's a little more flushed out. But I
Okay.
kind of agree with Xiaoyan. I think that this is, to me, this looks accurate. I would consider both Revs and Atlanta United a good team that I would be scared to line up against on any given week, 100%. Especially with the signings you guys have made, directly addressing weaknesses. I honestly think I applaud it. I think AJ is just being critical because you know your team better than any of us do. But
I think Garth's starting to now cook. Now we're starting to see the Garth potential now.
I think
Hopefully so.
I think you guys are even going to see an uplift from what you guys had in 2023, in my opinion. I'm Atlanta United. Even the trick will be when Almada leaves, can you find a way to keep everything fluid? Can you find a way?
And I think, but the thing is, Atlanta have done that. Like, let's think about it. Like when they first started, they had their original Almada and Miguel Almiron and Joseph Martinez, and now you have a Yakumakis and Thiago Almada, who, honestly, in my opinion, I think Yakumakis could be on like a Joseph Martinez level. Maybe not the same tier, but maybe just slightly below. But that's still really good.
That would be honestly, to have Joseph Martinez level production in Atlanta that's saying something.
But the Yakumakis kind of did last year. He almost scored in every single game he played.
Yeah, I mean, ish. I think it's this. It's like if he can stay on the field.
Yeah, if he stays healthy. But again, that was the same problem Joseph had.
Well, no, I mean, like the first, his peak years, he stayed healthy, but it's a matter of Yakumakis. It's not only health, but it's also yellow cards. He gets a shit ton of yellow cards, and it's just
I like Yakumakis.
Keeps him out.
I take
He
him.
keeps him out.
Okay, if you don't want him, I'll have him.
Xiaoyan glazes that man.
I'm saying I don't want him. I'm saying
my guy's packing. All right, he's super.
Yeah, guys, huge, right? Xiaoyan, he's huge. All right,
he's huge, exactly.
I think that you have right now. Let's see how it flushes out. I think this to me still seems accurate, and I think this next team will actually maybe help us determine what the shape at the top of the East will look like.
Yeah,
Orlando City is in an interesting place. Finished second in the East in the regular season. Finished in the bowed out in the conference semifinals. I think good team defensively. Pareja did resign. They're going to get some continuity there. They have a strong mix of personalities on that roster.
They got Ladero,
and they did just sign Xiaoyan's boy Nico, which in my opinion is a strong indication of we have to win now. Absolutely have to win now. And so
it does.
But are they good enough?
No offense, I think they're just average. I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna keep
average.
It
no.
Top of
They're
average.
the top of good.
They're good. They're a good team.
At the top of good.
I think they're at the top of good, but missing pieces.
But either way, I don't think they are elite. Like, yes, they finish very high, but in terms of you look at the rest of the teams, like, no, man. Like, if Columbus has an entire season with that roster, like, yeah, it's gonna be just. And then Inter Miami, of course. Like, we'll get into all this, obviously, but I don't think they're elite.
They're missing a couple pieces, but yeah, they're in the high end of the good, but still missing pieces.
I don't rate Orlando.
Yeah,
you don't rate a lot of teams, to be honest.
That's cool, John.
I
you don't rate your own team.
I don't know if Ladero will start. I think with his age, it's like up in the air. But I think that's a good signing.
Yeah.
I think it's a decent
good signing
piece.
Yeah.
I get, and they may still pick up a few pieces, right? But I don't know, man. The amount of veterans they have that are in a position to win now, not just Ladero, but Felipe Martins and other players. I mean, I like what they're doing. On the road, Orlando's a little bit shaky, and that's what makes me think they could not be an elite team. I also think AJ's Atlanta United fan, and he's not going to put Orlando City in elite if he doesn't have to. So there's that too. But
I don't know why we're talking about this.
I think because they finished second place in the East.
That's cool.
In the best conference in the Major League
Sounders finished second, and I don't think they're an elite team.
Right.
Yeah,
their roster is pretty much the same, but these other clubs have improved their roster.
So we're just putting them there then.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that's what they think. Yeah. Then the next club is going to go higher than them. So
Okay.
Really?
If you guys want to place these next 3 on elite, I'm not arguing. I don't know.
I'm not.
I don't
thinking
think Cincy's elite anymore.
I don't think they are.
The loss of Brandon Vasquez cannot be. There's
It's
no
just
recovery.
like I don't
from
think they. It's kind of like I don't know how to explain this. I think you guys might get it if I piece it together. It's like they did that big thing. They went big last year, and like now there's expectation on them. Like before, like everyone's like, Cincy's wank. Like fuck Cincy. They did well last year. They took even a step above. But now I think there's gonna be a bit of a landslide. I'm not saying they're gonna like miss playoffs or anything, but like it's kind of like when you come off of like a big performance, then you're just gonna be some downslide a little bit with me. I think they're just good, but still missing pieces. I don't know. I think they're gonna be like a fifth place team.
They can overtake Orlando. That's fine. I think that's
that's where they belong. I think right in front of Orlando. But I mean, it's just
they add Robinson to a very good back line, very
fuck
hungry
Robinson.
back line. Okay, but is what it is, right? One of the most sought after free agents in the offseason for Major League Soccer. So added a very key and someone who was touted, right, to try and go to Europe. I think MLS just
but he didn't because he's a chump. So
I will say that. Yeah, I disagree with that move entirely. I think a lot of Americans feel like, hey, we should keep our best players in this league. I think for the sake of what you want American players to be doing and to really test themselves, he should have left Major League Soccer. He should have, I don't know.
Yeah,
anywhere, bro. Go anywhere and there's some ambition.
Right. The problem is he going to start? And then if he doesn't start, he's not going to get chosen. So at that point, in terms of the U.S. men's national team, like
even if he gets chosen, he's not playing. He's not one of the best
my guy's
defenders in the U.S.
Finished,
he's just not. I mean, I don't think so.
And I mean, I think it had something to do as well with this. It was money. And
it was money.
Yeah, he had the chance to make more money with FC Cincy than he was gonna. So he was gonna play less, make less in Europe just to go to Europe. I mean,
he would have played. But it's temporary, right? Like everything is temporary. I think if you have ambition, right, it's like, okay, I'm gonna make a little bit of less money, but I already have a good amount of money, so that's okay. I'm gonna probably not start at first, but I'm gonna work my ass off to be a starter. That's okay. And more importantly, right, it's not like he was the guy for US MNT either, right? So like. Yeah, I'm sure the lack of playing time does, initially maybe hurt him a little bit in the next upcoming call-ups to an extent. But I don't think I don't think Berhalter or any other manager would ignore the fact that he chose to leave MLS at a point where, what is he, 27?
26, yeah.
26? As a center back, your prime ends, what? Mid-30s?
I mean, yeah, probably about 30, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would say mid-30s, to be honest. Like as with how everything's going, I think you see a lot of world-class center backs still at 34, 35.
Yeah, but he's not world-class. Come on,
no, he's not. But we'll never know what his ceiling is because he chose to stay in Major League Soccer.
Yeah, Nenny Castillo would have been disappointed in this move. Come on.
Nenny Castillo, yeah, he's shaking.
He's my favorite Mexican player of all time. Come on.
Oh, okay, bro.
Yeah, no, I mean 35 is more for like goalkeepers.
Fair. I'm just saying center backs.
I get Jose's point though, like how with the modern game, like you see like a Thiago Silva still doing it. I'm not saying he's,
but
there's levels.
Those not every
yes, there's levels, but
that isn't everyone.
Could he make it to another 6-7 years? Yes, as a starter somewhere, yes. And it's just a matter of, do you want to take the most advantage of those years as possible? And
dude, come on, let's keep it 100, guys. He's a snake. We're done with him. Since he's okay, done and done. We move.
I appreciate that you called him a snake quicker than I did.
I just didn't like it, man. Like I even say this to Iranian players, like the lack of ambition, it just ticks me off. Like you have such a good opportunity. I get the money part. I so get it. But like Jose, you said it perfectly in my opinion. I don't think I need to reiterate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a year. It's a year plus an option. Like he balls out this year.
I can't wait till he just hits the bench, do nothing, and then he's off to Colorado. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, he might.
He's
we'll
off
see.
To Colorado.
I think he's destined to be in MLS forever. I think that as a free agent, this would have been the one opportunity to really take advantage of something, and he chose to stay here. So it is what it is. But with that said, missing out on Vasquez, right, and his move to Monterrey, which I really did not think was going to happen. I really did. I've said I did not think it was going to happen. I thought it was a leverage move, but
John, tell him you told him.
He followed Cal over to Mexico, bro, and now I don't know what happens to Vasquez in terms of his prospects for Europe.
He's the next Gignac, bro. He's Gignac the Big Mac.
That's Gignac. That man is a legend, but maybe he's the next Funes Mori. I don't know, right? I mean. I
Hell
guess
no.
we'll.
Dude, that's
Hell no.
Jose's favorite player too.
Don't bring up
Don't
that
bring
name
up
ever
Funes
again.
Mori in front of Jose. He's gonna start
Bro.
swinging. Funes Mori.
No.
Where's he at?
Nah,
For real,
bro.
I'm about to do the same thing. I'll be right with you.
I used to play against that guy. I think he's overrated as hell. But I think at the end of the day, like, is he that level of player? Is Vasquez? Is this what he's destined
Is he that
for,
guy?
Right? The
You're
guy
not that
Mackey's
guy,
in
pal.
MLS. I don't know. Maybe he's a
Yeah,
contract guy.
Obviously, I don't think he's good enough compared to the aforementioned players that you guys were just talking about. So it's
will they backfill him? Have there been any rumors of Cincinnati adding a striker?
Yeah, there have been. I think it's like, what was it?
Yeah, I don't really know.
I can't remember. Yeah.
Either way, I don't know if anybody's going to match the production, and at this point, Acosta is not going to be able to do it by himself.
There is one guy looming over heads, but I don't know where he's going to sign. And the talks have been there about Lewa, maybe Barcelona.
He's
Yeah,
not also Ohio, bro. He's not going to live in Ohio. Ain't no way. No way.
I would
leave Barcelona tomorrow. He could pack his stuff up and go. I'm just saying, like, I think it's like Chicago. I think Chicago's a more realistic market.
That'd be perfect. I'll take him.
All I'm saying is, I think Rui Diaz would like to go to Cincinnati, and I'm willing to give him. I'm okay with that.
Club legend Rui Diaz.
Club legend Rui Diaz. Yeah, I don't know, man. Cincinnati doesn't replace Vasquez directly, like with someone who really offers, that level of production to an extent, double-digit goals in a season. I don't know.
Yeah, it was Corey Baird that just joined in free agency.
That's who it was. Yeah, it's Corey Baird. And to be fair, he's coming off one of the best seasons he's had in recent history. But I don't know if he's necessarily. I don't know if we can expect that to repeat in 2024. So yeah, good. Still missing some key pieces. All right, boys. Messi and friends. Messi and co. Kind of crazy actually. I was actually gonna. They're playing FC Dallas tomorrow in a preseason game here at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. I was gonna go, but it's at 5 p.m. And when I bought the tickets, I was like, bro, I still have work and stuff. So I sold them, but I sold them for a premium. So I'm very, very happy right now, guys. Everyone wants to see Messi, bro.
My question is, I think it's funny that they drew to El Salvador. I'm just saying that, man.
That's kind of crazy, right? I don't know how good the El Salvador national team is. I don't want to pretend to understand how good they are, right? But
they're decent, but we know CONCACAF, and they ain't on the upper echelon of that. So
yeah, I don't know, bro. I think it bodes well then for other teams, right? It's not a given that Messi and co is going to win, MLS Cup. It's just not
true, but it's
Crew still have a better
preseason. I mean, they're getting their legs.
They're still elite. Come on, regardless.
No, I'm not saying they're not elite. I just brought that up because I thought it was.
And and I hold my hands up. Facundo Farias. It's Inter Miami, but it's like this roster
player that they're losing. But they did add Gressel. They added Suarez. They're still going to probably mix up a little signing.
Bro, I'm jealous.
And I heard Neymar's joining because he's on a free non-kidding.
Bro, you know what's crazy? I think Neymar might end up joining someone like
Look, I could see him joining the Galaxy.
LAFC probably.
LAFC.
Come on, guys. We buy the Brazilians. Come on, put some respect on our name.
He's not going to see. He's not going to go play in the rain, bro. Ain't no way.
Come on.
No, exactly. Like he loves.
There's no way that's happening.
I'm out. You guys don't have any respect.
Yeah, I think back to Miami. I think look, Suarez, is he going to be better than Joseph Martinez last year?
1,000%.
That's not saying much. Yep. Not saying much. And I think Gressel, that addition, and seeing where he's playing right now too, right? I've seen him
right wing back. Yeah,
he plays everywhere, and that's perfect for Miami too. That's perfect.
You put Yedlin as like a third center back?
Dude, fuck Yedlin. He's shit too, bro. Come on.
I know, but it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, what the hell is Tata cooking up, bro? Like what is that? I have no idea.
Hey, listen. He don't know how to cook up shit. We've already seen this multiple times.
Well, that's the thing, though. No, so let's speak on this because basically, obviously, he won for Atlanta United, and while playing Julian Gressel at right wing back, and covering up deficiencies in his back line, which, I mean, that's really where it is. It's like, you have all these guys that, I mean, you have Suarez, you have Messi up front. I mean, you can cook most of the teams in the league. It's going to be okay. And then, you have you have all these guys that are still gonna be able to contribute, the young guys, the U22s. It's not that flawed of a roster, unfortunately. Like
it's not. But if they lose one of these key aging pieces, if they lose any of them, I think Miami becomes in real trouble, right? And that's possible, right? Like I mean, again, I think in order for it to work, they need young, hungry players who are going to do all of the running that Boosie, maybe even Alba and Messi are not going to do, right? And so, yeah, you got guys like Kremaski in there. That's cool. Farias was going to be a revelation, I think, this season heading in because he's also getting some European shouts. And unfortunately, his season's over, and that is what it is. That's a massive loss, in my opinion. And then they lose Kamal Miller, which I think is one of the more underrated.
That was weird. That was weird.
They traded for him, and then they traded him away. They traded for him last season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think personally, when Neville was there, I think he rated Kamal Miller highly, and then just found a way to get him over to Portland, right? Like that was the whole shift.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so I think he got him over to Portland, but and then what you're gonna plug that hole on Miami with Yedlin at center back, which is what I saw against El Salvador. I was like, what are we doing, Tata? What is this? He's not even a good defender. You're going to plug him in as like in a 3 center back system. I just think if one of those key pieces goes down, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to Miami.
I think one thing that you guys are forgetting to mention, though, is their schedule is going to be so fucked. You got to really think about it. We got League Cup. Well, we got the regular season, and then on top of that, they also have Champions League.
Yep.
Yeah. Could it be an Open Cup Real Madrid showing? Yeah. Could it be like an 03 to 05 Real Madrid?
You guys are overthinking this. You're overthinking this. They're gonna be fine. They have such a stacked roster. If anything, they're built to play in like 6 cup competitions. They are fine.
Dude, I'm gonna challenge Xiaoyan. We just talked about how the Red Bulls, for example, have signed every major DP in the book, never won anything. Why is and now granted, this is Messi. I'm not saying it's the same thing, but why is it guaranteed to happen with Suarez and Boosie and Alba? Because they won Leagues Cup?
You just said their names.
Because they won Leagues Cup. Henry won Champions League with Barca. He won an invincible season with Arsenal. Why couldn't the Red Bulls do it then?
That's different,
because they weren't as stacked as this. I mean,
yes, I get it, but they're all old, right? They're coming in at an older age than any of these other DPs have come in at.
Right. But you saw how Messi can still cook. And that's the ultimate X factor. Is like if we were talking about just everybody else, no Messi, like Suarez, Alba, Busquets, but no Messi. Yeah, they're probably average, but it's Messi.
And his first season, in his first half season with Miami, still had to deal with injury issues when he doesn't even run that much to begin with. Like I just think that like it's a given if everything goes right, and if it doesn't, there are some real problems. That's what I'm saying is that like in order for them to be MLS Cup winners right off the bat or even elite in the East as we have them here, everything has to go perfect for Miami this year. And Farias is already down. They've already lost a key player.
They'll be fine, bro. We're overthinking this.
There is that, but I think it's also this. It's like every team has questions. Every team, if not healthy, is top heavy in MLS.
That's but every team isn't starting 4 36-year-olds. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
I mean, yes.
What's wrong with 36-year-olds?
Only difference.
It's also not 4 36-year-olds that used to play for Barcelona.
Yes, I get it, bro. And I'm a Barca fan. You're preaching to the choir. I'm just saying, Father Time is undefeated. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
They're fine.
I could see this. This is written. I could see them heading over to Atlanta, playing on that turf.
What, 4 ACLs gone, John?
Happened, right? 4 ACLs gone.
Yeah, no, they go to Chicago. You see John running on the field. He's taking them all out. He's like, if I'm going down, you're going down.
Or no, I thought you were going to say if somebody went down, you just see John celebrating. Like, all right, we'll keep them there. I think that's fine. I don't think it's a crazy shot. I think you have to give them their flowers for now because they are so good. The talent's there, but the age is also present as well.
Yeah.
All right. Columbus, the reigning champions, until somebody knocks them off their perch to kind of subquote Sir Alex Ferguson, knocks them off their fucking perch. They are the best team. They may lose a player here or there. Yes, they've already lost a free agent, right, in Gressel, but like at the end of the day, like it's Wilfred Nancy's men. I mean, they're the best for a reason.
Right, and it's this. It's like, okay, yeah, they didn't win Supporter Shield, so what? It doesn't matter. Like that.
Nobody cares about that shield if you're hoisting MLS Cup.
No one cares about the shield because you don't win MLS Cup if you get the shield.
Yeah.
Exactly, and so I'm picking up what you're putting on. Try on. You've been fighting that argument for half a year.
We need T-shirts made, bro. We need T-shirts made at this point. Xiaoyan needs to have a brand that just says MLS Supporters Shield is not the same. The equal and the slash through MLS Cup. It's just not the same.
Yeah,
you can't have both. You can't have both.
Unless you're LAFC that one year.
My team had both. So.
Okay,
Yeah,
John, bro. Yeah, when I was,
Just saying.
John, you weren't even alive then, bro.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't change the fact that my team had both. So
that's fair. That's a fair point. They may lose a couple more pieces, right? There's some room, of course, right? You have a team that good, you know. There's going to be other teams, other leagues sniffing around, you know, trying to kind of pick up what Wilfred Nancy's putting down, so to speak. But I feel like as long as they have this coach and how dynamic he is, they're going to be an elite team, right? Until he leaves Columbus, they're going to be an elite team in this league, and I don't think there's anything anybody can really do about it, right?
So, and it's a front office that has ambition, and then plus the fan base is still fervent as they are, and they have a new stadium. Everything is set for them to be good for a while, and to my chagrin, to John's chagrin, you guys don't care. It doesn't matter to you guys. So, but it's
Listen, there are rivals too, so you know.
If Eastern Conference Final, if Eastern Conference Final is the Crew versus Inter Miami, who takes it?
Dude,
Inter Miami.
Are they all healthy? Everyone healthy?
Yeah, everyone's got.
Let's assume everybody's healthy.
Everybody's
back.
Dude,
right?
it's obviously Inter Miami.
Yeah.
It's so obviously Inter Miami.
You know why it is? Ref ball. Ref ball.
Yeah,
Ball,
exactly.
Yeah,
Ref ball, MLS, like it's maximum.
Bro,
exactly. Like
I already read the script. Inter Miami's gonna win next year.
When we bring in Neymar, it's gonna be a whole different story.
Right.
I think if I got a hot take, I think if those two match up, I think Columbus is a more complete team.
We all know that Columbus should probably be the winners, but then the ref's gonna be like, "Hello, Jose, I am the referee.
Exactly.
I run this show now."
VAR.
You must be new to the league. Let me show you this. I don't know, man. I got a hot take. I think Miami's done some really great business. They've found a way to make it work.
Jose's an Inter Miami hater.
I'm not a hater.
He's got a kid of them, bro.
Yeah, I got a Messi kid, bro. I love.
That's his second team, bro.
Man.
That's his second. He's not a Dallas fan anymore.
He's not a Dallas fan anymore.
Stop. John, you can drive that agenda all day, bro. I will say, I think Columbus. I don't know, man. Like their ability to come back against a great Cincinnati team last season when they were down 2-0. It lives in my mind rent free, bro. Me and Cheyenne texted through that whole game, and I feel like I saw a team that can see any level of adversity under this manager of Wilfred Nancy, and they're never out of the game. They're never out of it. Again, Miami may not be either, but that's why I think the Eastern Conference is going to be juicy as hell this season. I think it's going to be tough at the top, but these are our two elite teams, Columbus, Miami. If the Eastern Conference Final is neither of these teams, MLS failed. MLS failed 100%. This is how it has to be. So, all right, boys, last chance to move anything around. I know the good but still missing key pieces was the most contentious tier in this whole list. Between that and average, where should we make changes? Any?
Nah, dude, I actually think this looks perfect. This is so perfect.
Yeah, Toronto.
Still wooden spoon in the East again.
Yeah. Try your best to support the team this season, but
dude,
it's gonna be rough.
Dude, the way AJ said that, you could just tell he was like thinking of Daniel official MLS memes right there when he's like wooden spoon again. He's looking at his lips.
You're not wrong, man. No, but that was earlier when I was talking about Toronto fans. That's I was thinking of
Daniel.
It's tough. This could be the most balanced tier list we've done on the show in a while, though. I really like this one.
I actually really, and it's also very symmetrical, which I really like. It's very
it's pleasing to the eye. So I think that this is we'll keep it this way. A lot to like if you're Miami, Columbus, Cincy, Orlando, Revs, or Atlanta United fan. I think outside of that, our most pissed off fan bases are going to be Nashville and Philly, but I don't think anybody else can really be that upset with this. What'd you say?
It's probably Philly.
Dude,
I mean,
the Philly fans are always the loudest, man.
I think the Fire fans are going to be like optimistic that at least we're not still rebuilding, you know?
Yeah, no, trust. I think Fire fans need to demand more from their club, 100%. With the roster they have,
they just
demand more this season.
Stadium on a consistent basis.
I want to
You
go,
build
man.
the stadium on a consistent basis.
I want to go. I think Chicago is a crazy soccer market. I definitely want to get out there for
Bro,
a
it's
couple
easy.
games.
Just
this
buy
season.
one of the cheapest tickets. You can easily sit front row, no problem.
Yeah, dude. I was paying like $38 for like front row seats, man. That's
Hell
how
yeah.
that's how I got to see Cucho score on us. It was not fun.
That's how I got.
That was row two. That
That's
was
when
row
he-
two, by the way. That was row two.
That's
I
when
gotta
his
see
world
that.
changed, when he's like, this Cucho Hernandez guy's legit.
Oh,
To be
No,
fair,
that's
that's
when I
the
said,
moment
fuck
I
that guy.
realized Cucho was the real deal. It was
And
that
you know
he
what?
is
You
the
know what's
real
funny?
deal.
That was his first game. He came off the bench, man.
Yeah.
he needs to be back in Europe, bro. This guy is too good from MLS. He needs to be back in Europe.
Keep him here, man. Keep him here.
I mean, it's fun to watch, but you could just see it. There's a level. He's a level above the
We'll see
defenders
what
in this league.
happens. I like
Yeah.
it. Or come to Seattle, like if you want to do another year.
Man, this man's trying to recruit everybody. No one wants to go play on that turf, bro. Nobody wants to. And in the
Until you
rain.
change, until you change that turf, I think
Hey,
you know.
I don't want to. I want to be in a soccer specific stadium as well. Okay, I don't like this either. All right.
Yeah. Until you change that, I don't know how many big names you guys bring in. It might be Jordan Morris esque players for quite some time. We'll see. We'll see. But that is our tier list. If you disagree with any of the picks, let us know down below. I got a feeling the Union fans are going to be, hot about this one. But let us know down below. Happy to keep this debate going in the comments. And yeah, this is our list. Like the video if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel. And again, for everybody here at Wake Up MLS, my name's Jose. That's John. That's AJ. That's Xiaoyan. We'll catch you guys next time.